World right now, it's easy to forget that people are actually stepping up in our time of need, and a lot of it's happening in our own backyard. Let's talk about it with the Young Voices contributor Alexandra Hudson, up late with us on the Final Five. It's good to see you tonight.
Thank you for having me, Jim.
Why do you think that we're feeling this burst of altruism, that we really feel the need to step up and help our fellow citizen right now?
There's a whole body of research, Jim, that supports that times of crisis really do bring out these pro-social, altruistic tendencies that we have as a species. We're extremely sociable species as humans, and in times of crisis like we're in right now with COVID-19 killing over 5,000 people as of today in America alone. It's a horrible tragedy, but it is bringing out the best in us, and we're seeing that all across the nation, and also in our own backyard in DC and Arlington as well.
And what I'd like to see right now is the fact that not only are we talking about just simple everyday things like picking up the phone, how you doing, everything okay, can I do anything for you, to businesses. And we talk a lot about businesses on a larger scale, about donating tens of thousands of masks here and there, but we're even looking at restaurants around the DC region that they didn't have to. Obviously, they're feeling the pain. Their employees aren't working right now. They're not getting tips, but these restaurants are cooking meals for people for nothing.
That's exactly right. In D.C., a restaurant my husband and I loved to frequent when we lived there was Medium Rare, and they are donating steak frites to and delivering them to elderly individuals over 70 all across the D.C. area. And I just had a great conversation with a D.C.-based writer named Bethany Mendel, who is distributing kosher meals to hospital workers. There's a vibrant kind of civic energy around this topic, but she noted that while lots of hospitals were donating meals, Jewish workers they would go whole shifts without eating. And in the last week, what started as a Twitter post, a call for donations, they've raised $50,000, and they're now on their way to being IRS incorporated as a nonprofit.
It's incredible.
It's called Kosher 19. It's incredible. Yeah, many examples like this.
Bethany, by the way, has been on the show many times in the past. I know we love having her on, and I love seeing that she's spending this time. She has kids, and she's entertaining them at home right now, but also finding some time to do some good in the community.
She's amazing.
Yeah, and by the way, this is one of my favorite things, and we've seen a lot of businesses, because DC has a very robust distillery market right now, because that is really what industry is around here. We don't have big factories. We have companies that are making vodka, making bourbon, brewing beer, but those distilleries are making hand sanitizer. And you know, again, it's just they don't have to do this, but they know there's a need.
That's right. That's exactly right. Falls Church Distillery in the Virginia area is doing it, to huge multinational corporations like Anheuser-Busch. They're known for beer, but they're repurposing their production facilities to manufacture hand sanitizer and giving it away for free. And it's just a great example of this kind of Tocquevillian insight that Americans, we don't stand by and wait for the government to fix all our problems. We take initiative, and we see needs and we fill them. And it's a great tradition that we have as Americans, and it's worth celebrating.
One of the things you mentioned, I just want to back up a little bit, because you said when you used to live in the area, you were in Indianapolis.
I'm in Indianapolis now, yeah.
And I'm curious, you know, you've lived in D.C., you've been here. I mean, we've been through a lot in this area. I mean, how is obviously it's far away from New York and Los Angeles, where we're seeing lots of cases, but how is the community reaction right now to everything that's going on in the proverbial heartland?
In the heartland. Happy to speak on behalf of the heartland. It's great. I mean, of course, no crisis is purely, are people purely altruistic. You know, we have the same kind of problems that you see. You know, we have stories of people getting in fights in grocery stores, but I mean, there's also an incredible amount of innovation happening here as well. A friend of mine, Aaron Pierce, has an aerospace company, and he's repurposing his drones to bring blood and medical supplies all throughout Indiana. And there was a great story up in Elkhart, Indiana, where a church actually solicited donations of masks and hand sanitizer to a community of refugees during at the kind of peak of ISIS territorial invasion in the Middle East. And there were some logistical problems. They weren't able to get them there on time, but they just found them like few days ago in the basement of the church, and now and now they have all of a sudden 35,000 of these important masks and you know, thousands of containers of hand sanitizer that are especially useful in this time of crisis right now.
So it's just amazing to see the innovation and again the generosity that this otherwise obscene time in our country's history is breeding. Alexandra Hudson, thanks for joining me tonight. Great talking to you.
Thank you for having me, Jim.
We're back after this in the Final Five.